Guess what, good people? I have a marvelous guest for you today, and her name is Mellissa with two L's, two S's, T for Thomas, and she's a dynamic person for you to gather information and strength and direction from in regards to writing through your trauma, writing through the pain, and producing an income source for yourself. At the very least, you will be able to get out some of those thoughts and emotions pertaining to some type of a past trauma that you might feel is haunting you and halting your progression. So, without further ado, we are here with Miss Mellissa T.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
You know, thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing to allow me to interview you for the Believe in Your Better podcast. And today you are definitely going to have some strength to believe in yourself. So, to give you a little bit of background about Melissa, she is a Jamaican-born author. She is also a U.S. Navy veteran, all right? Copy editor, poet, and award winning indie screenwriter who has spent her career proving one thing: your story is worth telling. I love it. She is also a trauma informed writing coach and former chief editor who grew a Central Florida newsroom from 3 contributors to 33. Go, Melissa. If I had one of those machines, it would have gave the claps right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Melissa now guides women through life's hardest chapters, helping them transform pain and transition into powerful, publishable books. She doesn't just teach writing, she teaches reacclimation. All right. So with let's get started. Let's just get into it. I find that this will be a very juicy podcast session. So, Melissa, all right, talk to us about how you began to write. We already know that you're an author, but tell us how you began to write about your trauma.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, the trauma part is recent.
Okay.
I I was one of those people who thought it wouldn't be worth it to be a writer because my life was actually kind of boring. Like
Okay.
I lived a very for the longest I lived a very safe life. I was
Mm-hmm.
raised by two very disciplinarian parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Caribbean, you know.
Mm-hmm. Look, I
Um,
understand. Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so my dad is a retired officer or former officer with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So like cop, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom she worked for the police force as well. Not as an officer, but she worked in a separate department. But both of them came from that like disciplinary background with the police force, and they were both rural people. Like they grew up in a rural lifestyle.
Okay.
So discipline, got to be on time, all the things. Like you got to be on your
Mm-hmm.
best behavior, get them grades. Like
Right. I was
anything
about to
less
say,
than
get those
B, you're
good
in trouble.
grades.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anything less than a B, you're in trouble. That sort of thing.
Right. Like, what happened? A C?
It,
How dare you?
exactly. And I'll be honest, like it wasn't until maybe about 5 years ago, maybe six,
Okay.
that I realized that even that kind of upbringing has traumas of its own that I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
But I developed a tendency to people please because
Okay.
I didn't want to make my parents upset in
Discipline.
any way.
Yes.
I always tell the story like, hey, my folks, they were not afraid to spank. And for me personally, all it took was two. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
was still single digits. After that second one, I swore to myself I was never gonna have that happen to me again. Like,
Girl. I'm right with you. Listen,
Yeah,
I can't even remember when it clicked in my head. I'm not getting a whooping. I'm doing what they said, the way they said. Did they say move two spaces this way? All right. That's what mom and daddy said. I'm not getting no whoopings, especially from
exactly.
somebody else's nonsense. Nope.
That part, that part.
Hmm.
So, like growing up in that lifestyle, I'm stuck to the rules through school, stuck to the rules,
Hmm.
and then enlisted in the Navy sort of as a way to alleviate the burden of my college education off of my parents because they were willing to pay for it. And I was
Okay.
like, I took the ASVAB just out of curiosity, just to see what I would score. I got a 93, I want to say,
Okay.
on it.
And when you
And
say ASVAB, let people know what that
the
is.
yeah, so it's the Armed Services Vocational and something
Hmm.
battery. That's what that
Exam.
means.
Okay.
Exam. So they wanted when you take it, it's not unlike taking the SAT, just not as difficult as the SAT.
Hmm.
But it's another intellectual assessment exam. They just want to see if you have the mental acuity to join the military.
Right.
Um, Took it, scored a 93. So then all four branches were available to me. Um, and when I found out that the Navy was willing to cover my college expenses, obviously GI Bill, that kind of thing,
Right.
and I would be able to travel on the government's dime, I was
Hmm.
like, bet I'm doing that,
Okay.
you know? And then, of course, this is another environment with strict rules, right?
Hmm.
You got to follow the rules, wear your uniform. Even our uniforms had rules. Like there
Hmm.
was a specific way we had to wear them, a specific way that we could iron them, a
Right.
specific way our shoes had to look, like regulations all around.
Right.
So for folks who are rebellious, man, like they're
They
allergic to
caught
stuff
it.
like that.
Yep, they caught it.
Yeah. So going through that era from essentially 18 years old to about 20, 24, 23 or 24, because I served for 5 years.
Hmm.
Another rule following environment. So then transitioning into college thereafter was my first time like entering into a territory where I had to think for myself, like
Right. Okay.
truly develop my own identity. Who is Mellissa? What is she about? What does she like? Who does she like? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? What are her interests and passions? And fortunately, I, pursued a bachelor's in film, and then I did an entertainment business master's degree. Same college. I went to Full Sail University in
Okay.
Winter Park, Florida, for both of them. And even in college, like that was still a relatively quote unquote boring or like unsexy
Hmm.
experience. Things didn't get interesting for me in terms of trauma, Dana, until I got into the news media industry. This
Okay.
was in 2014, October 2014. From October 2014 to November 30th of 2023, I was, in the news industry. So that one line in the bio about being a chief editor and growing
Hmm.
the
Rolling.
the team from 3 to 33, like that was all of that. That was those 9 years. But it was in that time that I experienced my accelerated growth emotionally, spiritually, physiologically. I
Hmm.
experienced chronic stress. I saw like all of the undeveloped things in me, like
Hmm.
all of that came bubbling up to the top because pressure reveals who
All
you
at
are
once. Hmm.
all at once. And the news media industry is nothing if not pressure. Like,
Right.
one, it trains you to be reactive because as a news outlet, you're covering something that is in progress or has already happened.
Hmm.
So it's not unlike niche blogs or something like that, where you can forecast and maybe do deep dives into something you see coming. A
Hmm.
lot of the news coverage that we were doing was the equivalent of local news coverage, like your local ABC or NBC or CBS affiliates. It
Okay.
was mostly reactionary. So then I ended up in that sort of mindset
Mm-hmm.
where I was a reactionary person. So you're dealing with that. I'm dealing with the people pleasing and that struggle.
And
And
let me ask you
go ahead.
this, along with those two things, and like you said, with the gamut of all of this at once,
Mhm.
didn't you also have to manage others while they're in that
Yes.
same space? Right.
Yes. So
And you
there's
talking
that.
about overwhelming. Right.
Overwhelming because, again, people pleaser. And I'm now in a position of leadership,
Right.
which, first of all, didn't see myself as one. So that's a whole other conversation in terms of mindset with that.
Right.
Didn't see myself as one. And as a people pleaser with people with bigger egos than mine, they would, I hate to say it, like there were times when I was overpowered.
I
Like,
was gonna say walk over you. And
yep,
they did it pleasingly and didn't look back as they walked over you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the leadership consisted of myself and the founder of the company. And whenever they were frustrated with me, they would just go around me and go talk to him behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would simply, in our conversations, let me know what they were saying.
Okay.
So that was an interesting and at the time stressful process for me because I
Okay.
didn't yet have the language that I needed. And this goes into the power of writing and writing through trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to acquire the language, the right language to convey my feelings. And at that time I didn't have the right language yet.
Did you seek therapy during that time? Or was
No,
that even, look, an option for you? Were you even thinking about maybe I should talk to a therapist? Right.
that never
Okay.
crossed my mind.
Right.
It never
Right.
crossed my mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and and this speaks to the importance of the environment that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what ended up happening with me gradually over those 9 years. I began to gradually withdraw. Like whatever social life I had, because we were so busy,
Mm-hmm.
I abandoned my friendships, not intentionally, but just I prioritized all of my time towards the work.
That
So,
was an attempt to self-soothe. Mm-hmm.
so I'm in the work. And to be honest with you, Dana, I wouldn't even call it self-soothing. It's just I had a ton of responsibilities, like way more than I was supposed to have, if I'm being
Okay.
honest. Um, I was the editor in all three definitions. I like to tell people that when I share that story. I was an editor in the publishing sense, meaning I oversaw a team of creators.
Mm-hmm.
I was an editor in the grammatical sense, meaning I had to clean up all of our content before
Oh.
it went to the public, whether on the
Mm-hmm.
website or on social media. I cleaned up all of it. And then I was an editor in the video sense. I edited all of our footage,
Really?
one person overseeing a
Wow.
team and doing all of that. It was a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It was a lot.
That's three
So,
different departments, and you're in charge. You're the last say in all three departments.
yeah.
Wow.
So this is where I ended up developing all of the traumas. Sure, the Navy, there were certain traumas I experienced while over there, but this experience, the news media experience, while I experienced a lot of things that were negative, I am grateful for the experience overall because one, it made me a better communicator, a more effective
Okay.
communicator. And two, I learned a lot of lessons from those traumas, like
Okay.
the whole people pleasing thing. Like I've since developed the language that I needed to express and enforce
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. I've learned the language that I needed to learn in terms of being able to detect when somebody's trying to walk over me or trying to manipulate me. I
Okay.
didn't have that. I didn't
That
have that
skill set yet.
awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that awareness before. It was happening to me while I was in the job. So now on the other side of it, I can recognize those things and I know what to say in order to advocate for myself.
Mm-hmm.
in terms of that. So the current book that's coming out, the Pain to Prose Playbook, I now talk about those lessons in that book.
Okay.
So
Okay. Good. Good. Now, say the name of the book again.
the Pain to Prose Playbook.
Okay. And through this book, people can learn how to identify the pains and then describe them as best they can for themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
And how to prime their minds to revisit the trauma and extract the lessons only. Because one of the fears for some writers is, or aspiring authors is, you know what? I might not want to write a book about this thing because I don't want to have to think about that thing all
Mm-hmm.
over again. And the truth is, we just have to prime or condition
Mm-hmm.
our minds for whatever it is we want to do. The reticular activating system is a powerful thing. Like it
Right.
is our greatest filter ever.
Right. Right.
And once you tell yourself you're only visiting, and you see me doing this hug thing, and
Right.
I know you're familiar with this, Dana, like
Right.
a hug elicits oxytocin. It makes us
Yeah.
feel safe. Yes.
It
It
is the
makes us
best
feel safe.
medicine along with
Yes,
laughter. They're just really good
exactly.
medicines.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking to yourself and you're priming your mind, you're conditioning your mind, you're telling yourself, one, we are safe. Two, we're only revisiting this thing. This thing is not
Staying there,
happening
we're
to
not
us all
living
over
to
again.
right, right.
We are simply revisiting it, and we're looking specifically for the lessons to pull out to give to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did I learn from this? We're not going back to square one and reliving the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only show me what I learned from it. Only show me the blind spots that I didn't notice at the time.
Okay. So
Only
now,
show me the solutions I learned. Go ahead.
so tell me this. For a person who, let's say that they have not learned the actual lesson, they know
Mm,
that they have had a traumatic experience, regardless to, like you said, what level or what the initiator was of the trauma.
mm-hmm.
But as far as really learning a lesson about themselves, about their growth, what happens to those people who really haven't touched on that? They know that they might have a story to tell and maybe want to share it, but they don't know, they haven't really looked at that trauma and pull apart the lessons. How do you walk them through that?
I would recommend them to not write a book yet. I
Okay.
would start them on the journaling side of things or voice recording for people who don't
Mm-hmm.
like writing or typing. Like, start with the voice recording or the
Okay.
journaling, and then get into community, like in all caps, get
Mm-hmm.
into community. Um, find relevant support groups that deal with whatever that address that kind of trauma, that would provide a safe space. And of
Okay.
course, if you can afford the therapy, get that, get the
Mm-hmm.
therapy. And one little asterisk too that I want to give our listeners is, not all therapy has to be talk therapy. Like, that's not the only kind of therapy available to
Right.
you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are other kinds of therapy you can do. Some people can better process their trauma or their feelings through art.
Yes.
Some people can better process it through even acting. There are some people who will go to, like improv school or whatever, or join like a drama club or something.
Okay.
And through the process of acting out scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
can address their feelings. Um, but yeah, community therapy, find the kind of therapy that works best for you, and then like journaling or voice recording. Like
Mm-hmm.
those three primary things before you even get to the book thing, because you have to make sure you're whole, or at least closer to whole, If you
Mm-hmm.
haven't healed from the trauma yet, now is not the time to teach the lesson anyway. Like,
Right.
you got to heal first.
Right. Right. I
Yeah.
think it's important for people to understand that part because I have seen where people do want to talk about their uh, traumas, but um, but if you ask them, well, what did you learn from it? What type of what the suffering, even if you wanted to mention the suffering, can you identify what it is? Well, they were this and they were that. Okay, but we're talking about you. What
Mm-hmm.
what what's your synopsis of the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as you indicated, it needs to be pulled apart. You need to walk over it, not so much live in it.
Yeah.
That just it steers it up, if you will.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wouldn't suggest that they do it by themselves.
Facts. Yeah. And that's
Hmm.
the importance of community. Like, you have to
Hmm.
have
Yes.
a soft landing, people that can bear you when you're like fully emoting, because there's
Hmm.
gonna be times when you're angry all over again, or you're crying all over again and going through all the stuff.
Hmm.
And you have to be in an environment of people who will receive you and have that patience and be able to support you when you're,
Yes.
you know, when you're
Absolutely.
feeling that way. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as you attempted to write about, well, you discovered your traumas, you journaled, and I'm assuming you sought community. So,
Yes.
as you went through those steps and you were ready to write about your trauma, and again, from a healing point of view,
Hmm.
how did it feel with identifying the people that hurt you or the instances that involved not just you, but others?
Yeah. The I'll be honest with you, it's still a bit sticky with the person responsible. Um,
Hmm.
because we have a sort of tentative friendship. Like, I call it low contact. I've gone low contact with the person,
Okay.
but we're not.
Ooh, I know what that is, but explain that to the audience. Low
Okay.
contact. Oh my,
Yeah.
that is a great term to use for my folks who, well, I set up boundaries, but what happens when you have to be around somebody? Do you have to be around them?
Well,
Low
I mean,
contact would be a very good
fair,
tool.
that's a fair question though, if the person who hurt you is family. Like, there's
Hmm.
some people, like, you do deal with them every day. You know what I mean? In my case, I am fortunate. This is somebody that
Okay.
is who was a friend for a while,
Hmm.
but we were never, like, it's not like we lived together or anything like that. This isn't kin. This is
Hmm.
somebody that I know. So now
Okay.
I make sure, physically separated. And that's exactly how God had to resolve the situation for me, Dana. Like,
Okay.
he had to pull me out of the state of Florida. Like, because he
Hmm.
knew the word no was not in my vocabulary, not in a way that sticks. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So he was like, let me orchestrate another opportunity for her that she would want to take.
Hmm.
And God utilized my family, because I have a very supportive family.
Okay.
And my mom found an opportunity for me in Atlanta through one of our close family friends. And that was the opportunity. I got up out of Florida and pursued an opportunity to work for Tyler Perry Studios.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me at the time, the opportunity to work there was just the carrot God was using to move me out of Florida. That was not
Hmm.
precisely where he was going to have me work. He
Hmm.
just needed me to get out of Florida first.
Okay.
Once I was in Atlanta, then I was more available. Like, I was more open to what God was going to do, which is bring the UOU environment into my life. So,
Okay.
um, as you know, E.T., the hip hop preacher, Dr. Eric Thomas, for those who don't know,
Hmm.
he will periodically bring his APOC services, a place of change, to Atlanta as like an offsite. He does that, on a
Right.
monthly basis.
Forward.
Right,
Mhm.
forward. But also, since he had the venue, he had a relationship with the venue owner with that church for Forward, he also utilized that venue for his UOU mastermind, which he was launching a brand new cohort for in
Mm-hmm.
February of, or in not February, in like May or June of 2023. So he did the UOU challenge, which was the
Mm-hmm.
virtual, as
Right.
like the ramp up to the
Right.
mastermind. Like the mastermind was the upsell at the end of the challenge. And for the first time in my life, Dana, I made like a top tier faith walk investment in myself. It
Okay.
was the highest price point I've ever I'd
Oh, oh,
ever
I understand.
yeah. I was like, okay, God, like you're allowing me to do this. Okay.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And he did with the help of my family. Again, my family is very supportive. So they helped me in this regard, but I was able to make that investment
Okay.
and join the UOU mastermind. And entering into the mastermind, this was my version of the community thing. Like that step I talked about, getting in community. The
Mm-hmm.
mastermind was the community for me. Like
Okay.
I know in common therapy parlance, there's your family of origin and then there's your family of choice. Like the
Right.
UOU mastermind is my family of choice. Like these
Yes.
people are a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
It's a faith-based community. Like
Absolutely.
everybody in there loves the Lord, they love the word, like and
Yes.
there are no ulterior motives. Ulterior motives aren't even allowed in there. Like the leadership doesn't
Right.
allow it.
Right.
So there's an abundance of safety among the members in there that nobody's judging you. People
Right.
are in there, even though it's a business mastermind, people are in there in different stages of their business. There's some people
Mm-hmm.
that have been in business for over a decade. Most enrollees are just starting,
Right.
and some people haven't even
Me.
started a business yet. Right.
Me.
Some come in with only a 9 to 5. They don't have a business yet. And
Mm-hmm.
then we see the transition. We
Right.
actually got to witness that today. Like
Right.
one of our young sisters, she came in with a 9 to 5 and then developed her business in a mastermind and then took off. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So that was the community for me. Through joining the community, I took the flight assessment. So this is, I want to say number 4 on my list. I said journaling or voice recording, get into community,
Mm-hmm.
therapy. This fourth one, self awareness. Like,
Extremely important.
yeah. So for me, that was the extreme execution flight assessment. I had taken other personality assessments in the past. So
Mm-hmm.
I can see the
You were
similarities
familiar.
between them,
Okay.
but I personally like the assessment because it not only it wasn't very accurate, but also it helps you understand other people around you too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It
Yes.
doesn't only point to your behavior, it also gives you insight into other people's behavior.
Who you're
Like it
surrounding.
gives you the
Yeah. Yeah.
keywords.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So then just by being in conversation with somebody for like 2 minutes, you're like, oh, this person might be, this person might be
Has some
this.
tendencies of.
They have the tendencies of. So then you know how to talk to them in a language that they can understand.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so that was huge. Go ahead.
So tell me this, as you
Mhm.
were learning about yourself, because I often tell my clients who in their heads, the communications between others are not very well. And I ask them, do you say what you mean and mean what you say? And have you even been able to watch yourself when you're saying certain things, but it does not show up? Something else shows up. So they don't take you serious to what you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And that I think that is a key component with those trying to become self-aware of their situation with the people pleasing, as you indicated. So have how hard was it for you to move in that space to actually say what you mean, like, no, I don't want to do this, and mean it and stay with your no?
I'll be honest with you, I have not done the practice of like talking in the mirror so I can see my own expression.
Okay.
What I did instead, though, was I released my self-judgment in terms of my bluntness because I can be a very blunt person sometimes.
Okay.
And like most of my life I've been told I was blunt and like it was off-putting. But in being in community, being in the mastermind, developing that self-awareness, I realized there's nothing wrong with me. Like
Okay.
that was a huge liberating factor for me. So for you
Mm-hmm.
listening, like once you develop self-awareness, you understand that there's actually nothing wrong with you. You're simply wired a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rub certain people the wrong way, and that's
And even
okay.
you're being blunt doesn't mean that you're being disrespectful. Because
Right.
oftentimes with women, and especially Black women,
Mm-hmm.
um, when she says no, people automatically take offense as
Mm-hmm.
if she just said a curse word. She said
Mm-hmm.
no. So now you want to ask her why? Well, okay, because I don't want to. How else? I mean, you're not being nasty, you're not
No.
being rude, and I'm not making up a lie or a story to you.
Right.
I just don't want to. So
Yeah.
I think I that women have that problem way more than men do, in the
Oh, of
sense
course.
of saying what you mean and mean what you say. And the mean what you say is an action step. It's not just words. It's your
Yeah.
actions. You can't
Yeah.
say no and then do the thing that they asked you to do. It's like, well, is it no or yes?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And listen, during them 9 years, same thing. Like I would
Okay.
say no to something, like or put up a boundary, and then the person that I was working with, like, did not have the greatest respect for boundaries. I'll put it that
Hmm.
way,
Hmm.
and would push them. And I
Hmm.
caved in at the time, like,
Okay.
um, because like I said back then, I didn't have the language
Okay.
or the full self-awareness to be like, nah, fam, like I see what you're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I wasn't nearly as aware and as mature as I am now. I
Okay.
can share a situation where something similar ensued and I behaved very differently. So I was with a gentleman who I had been friends with for a long time.
Hmm.
And for the longest, he had expressed his attraction to me. This is somebody that is about 3 decades older than me. And I made clear to him that I
Hmm.
was in no way, like the feeling was not mutual. And I
Okay.
said that like verbatim. I said respectfully, the feeling is not mutual. I am in no way attracted to you. And this is somebody who also does not have a healthy respect for boundaries.
Hmm.
So even with me saying that clearly to him, he was like, well, you never know. Like God may work in mysterious ways or something like that. So he was a client of mine, like in terms of his actual book.
Hmm.
And we would periodically meet up in person. And this last one in April, he crossed the line physically and I stopped him. I verbally had to say no, like out loud, no.
Hmm.
Fortunately, we were in a parking lot with people,
Okay.
so we weren't like isolated. But yeah, and then he we went our separate ways. We spoke on the phone that following Tuesday because it happened over a weekend.
Hmm.
Spoke on
Right.
the phone that following Tuesday, and I made clear to him like, one, what you did was wrong. Like
Okay.
you and I had actually talked about what my traumas were, so you were fully aware of what my traumas were, and you still tried it. That's number one. Number two, like I'm gonna help you get this draft done, and after that, we are not working on any future projects together at all. And then number
Okay.
three, we are no longer meeting in person ever. I'm
Okay.
not safe around you. We're done with that. So I
Mm-hmm.
went low contact with him as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you have second thoughts about it? Trying to backtrack in your mind?
Nope. And that's the difference now. Like
Okay.
once I'd been in community for long enough, developed my sense of self-worth, got comfortable with the language and got comfortable with using the language.
Mm-hmm.
This go round, there was no, I
Okay.
didn't have any second guesses or second thoughts or anything.
All
I
right.
was clear.
Good. 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 So, for your clients that you help walk through that process, um, do you take them on any level, or are you looking for clients who are a little more astute with it? They are self-aware. They do have more, or they can express the correct language as they speak about the traumas and their self-worth.
No, I take them at any level.
Okay.
Like the more self-aware, the better. But I'm also prepared to point any
Mm-hmm.
client that needs that help to the resources that are available. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell the audience how they can get in contact with you. You mentioned your book, so let them know where they can obtain it and or your website and your
Sure.
offers. Give them some juicy information.
Sure. So you can pre-order the book at paintoprose.com. That's paintoprose.com. So you can pre-order the paperback or the ebook or both. Like I've had people pre-order both, which is crazy.
Okay. Okay.
um, yeah. So there's that in terms of the book. You can get a hold of me by connecting with me on LinkedIn. You just find me, Mellissa Thomas with two L's and two S's. And you can follow my podcast, The Getting the Win Show on YouTube. It's at Getting the Win on YouTube. And yeah, I talk about, the process of healing through writing your first book. And like Dana and I didn't get into brass tacks here in terms of like the writing, but no
Mm-hmm.
worries. Like head to the YouTube channel and you'll be able to get that.
Mm-hmm. And Mellissa and I met in that mastermind group that she spoke of. So before was June, we had not known each other, and now we are sister in arms.
Yes.
She is helping me become more look secure in podcasting and interviewing
Yes.
people as I
For
follow
sure.
my mission, my purpose. So I want for you to express, what do you believe your biggest challenge with discovering yourself, your true identity has been?
Mm, the biggest challenge in discovering myself or my true identity, I believe knowing where to start. In my
Okay.
case, in my case, I did have assistance with that. The very first meetup in Atlanta for the UOU Mastermind, our our big sis Mignon Francois did
Mm-hmm.
did a talk, and that was the first time I heard the importance of researching the meaning of my name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, that is a big help.
yes.
Absolutely.
And I guide my clients through that now too. Like anybody who
Mm-hmm.
struggles with that, that's the first thing I tell them to do. Like research the meaning of your name. And even if your name is unique, because we black folk, we can come up
The
with some
latter
names.
generation, the ones before, yeah.
We can come up with some names, yo. But even for that, Mignon recommended, even if your name is really unique, break
Mm-hmm.
it up into syllables and research the syllables.
Okay.
Because even the syllables have meaning. They all have an origin somewhere.
Right, right.
So researching the syllables. In my case, my name is like universal, like it's primarily Caucasian too. So like
Mm-hmm.
there was a meaning for it.
Mm-hmm.
But my name means honeybee. The name Mellissa means honeybee. And
Okay.
what do we know about honeybees? They pollinate. Like
Right.
they help
They are
flowers
the
blossom.
glue, right?
So for me, I say I help other people blossom, which is true. Like I get the biggest thrill out of helping other people or pointing people to the resources that get them the results they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no greater thrill than that. Like, I love being a part of a team that gets a result. You know what I mean? Being a part of
Yes.
something bigger, that gives me life. So
Okay.
yeah, like knowing that I'm a honeybee and God gave me the gift of writing.
Mm-hmm.
So helping other people blossom, he gave me the gift of writing, and I'm already an 8-time, about to be 9-time self-published author, technically about to be 10. Pain the Pros playbook will be number 10.
Okay. Okay.
um, so given that I have my expertise in the self-publishing industry itself,
Mm-hmm.
like when you do the 4 circles of ikigai, like what the market is asking for, what you're passionate about,
Okay.
what you can get paid to do, you know what I mean? Like all of that
You have
stuff,
to put it together.
all of it converges on what I do now. Like I'm an author guide who helps women take their trauma or transition
Mm-hmm.
and make it a tool of transformation for other people.
Good, good, good. And that is an very, very important aspect of just us being, whether you are a writer or not, you
Yeah.
should be very self-aware of who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses, or maybe what something needs to be. There's an area of your life that needs to be built up, not so much a weakness. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And that's how I pride myself to assist others as a therapist. You have to know you first before you can understand these other people. You can't
Yep.
is that's unequal. It that does not weigh together. You can understand these people, but you don't know yourself. So it yeah, it behooves you to understand who you are, understand why you do the things that you do because of the way that God named you and you follow suit to what that name means. For you to find that out, I found that out. I was like, wait, so for real, I am supposed to be bossy.
I love
People
it.
was, you're so bossy. Well, am I being bossy? I'm just trying to assist you to get to where you say you want to go. Hey, so I found that out. I'm like, oh, thanks, God, for helping me to
You're right.
understand me.
That part.
Like you said, and Mignon is the best at that. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
She helps you
Amazing.
break that name, the word down for the betterment of yourself.
Yeah.
So if you were listening to this podcast
Mhm.
and you heard all of this good information, what would be the first thing that you would have people to do?
The first people that I'm so glad you asked the question in that way, because this actually ties into one thing I wanted to add.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the first thing I would have people do, especially to our topic of healing through writing, is
Mm-hmm.
what God led me to do last year or the year before that, which is write a letter to your younger self.
Ooh, we. All
Yes,
right,
write a
look,
letter to your younger
I
self.
don't have the
Now,
machine. Dun, 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 dun.
so I'm gonna give you the
Yes,
format he led me to use because I needed it.
absolutely. I tell
So,
I have that exercise with my clients, and it can be a tad bit overwhelming for them. Yeah.
but
So, all right,
it works.
Miss Mellissa, go ahead, break it down. How,
Sure.
yes.
And you saw me share it in the APOC women's group for the young
Mm-hmm.
lady who was struggling with her identity.
Yes, yes, that was beautiful. I love the way that you broke that down. I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta use this with my people.
Please, by all means, it helped me a lot. So here it is, guys. I had to I wanted to tackle the repeated sins or maladaptive habits that I kept going back to. So in my
Okay.
case, like food, to your point about self-soothing, the
Mm-hmm.
biggest culprit for me, Dana, was food. Like
Oh,
I was eating
yeah.
junk food almost every day because we were always on the run, but I didn't realize until like year 7 the the neuroscience behind the food, like the
Okay.
neurobiology behind the food we were eating
Mm-hmm.
and what it was doing to my brain. I was like, oh, this is made in such a way to keep us addicted. Like I developed a junk food addiction.
Okay.
And so there was a food thing. There were a couple other secret habits, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that are not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I kept revisiting them and I was like, okay, God, I need to break this. So what he said was, first of all, before I even wrote the letter, y'all, so this is an additional exercise if you need this, but write down every single one of those habits or sins,
Okay.
name them, and then attach them to a specific trauma in your life that you're using that bad habit to soothe. And
Mm-hmm.
then write when the trauma happened and how old you were when it happened. So he had me do that first.
Okay.
Once I had that inventory done, then he had me write the letter to, in my case, 7-year-old Mellissa, because 7 years old was how old I was when the very first trauma happened to me. Because throughout my life, I'd experienced sexual trauma 3 times.
Okay.
So he had me write all of those down, and
Mm-hmm.
then he had me, you know, write when some of the newer traumas happened with with the news media stuff, the people pleasing and the being walked all over, the manipulation, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, first paragraph of my letter, y'all, I acknowledged the child. Like, I see you. I am I am here. I
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge you. I am sorry for what happened. So like acknowledging the child, apologizing, and in that second paragraph, I name every single trauma that little Mellissa experienced,
Okay.
how old she was when she experienced them. That inventory I was talking about,
Right.
where I incorporated that inventory. You experienced this at this age and
Mm-hmm.
this on this date, like each trauma, name them.
Okay.
I apologize for all of them. In the third paragraph, I apologize to her for my part in harming her, meaning the maladaptive habits that I developed.
Okay.
And then for my part, I also developed a terrible habit of toxic self talk.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so I included that too. Like, I
Yes.
personally apologize for abusing you. Like, I named what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then,
that's good to identify what it is, identify
yep,
the emotions.
identified the emotions, took ownership of my part in it.
Yes.
And then in the final paragraph, or well, let me go back real quick. When I identified my part in it, I apologized to her and then asked her to forgive me, like forgive the adult that has
Mm-hmm.
been immature up to this point. Then in the final paragraph, I made a commitment that for the rest of my life, she was safe with me and
Okay.
that I would protect her. So I commit to protecting her for the rest of my life, and
Mm-hmm.
that version of myself does not exist anymore going forward.
Okay.
Wrote all of that. 2 more steps, y'all. 2 more steps. Read the letter silently first.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was done writing it, read the letter silently, and this is the part. Don't skip this last step. I read the letter out loud to
Mm-hmm.
myself
To hear the words.
to
Mm-hmm.
hear the words, because I heard this from Dr. Joyce Meyer, but she said we as human beings, we sooner believe what we say about ourselves than what we hear other people say about us. So in
Mm-hmm.
reading the letter out loud, I heard it, like literally heard it. And I
Yes.
promise you, Dana, after I read it out loud, I heard like a little voice in my subconscious say, thank you. And then
Okay.
my entire body relaxed. Like I felt so much better,
Mm-hmm.
so relieved. And I was like in therapy problems, like I felt integrated. Like I was no longer dissociated from her. I was no longer abusive
Right.
to her from there. Like self-esteem improved. I
Weight
had a
lifted.
greater, yeah, like I had a greater sense of peace within myself when I
Yes.
did that.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So, um, For those who were listening, if it's possible, I'll have the transcript. If not, you can go to her website and get the information. But I really believe that that's a very good workup for individuals to process their trauma, um, become more in tune with it in the sense of healing, not just keep going over and over and over. And then you keep saying not so nice things to yourself because of it. And I love the part where you say, hey, I did play a part in your hurting, little one, because I adapted and created these soothing. It might have been soothing the first time you did it, but the 10,000th time that you're doing it 30 years later, no, it's not good. We got to
Yeah.
cut that loose and understand why we're cutting it loose. Very good, very good. Okay. All right. So, any last words, encouragement you want to give the listeners?
I would encourage the wonderful people watching and listening to this to, as the name of the podcast says, believe in your better. Like,
Yes, yes, yes.
um, even if you don't necessarily, even if you're not necessarily wired to hear encouragement because you're just so driven, you move really fast. Believe
Mm-hmm,
in your better anyway because you're a visionary. Like
mm-hmm,
you're always thinking towards the future. But for those who are not that way, who are not self-driven, those who have a heart to serve, those who pour out to the extreme, believe in your better because there is better for you, meaning you deserve all of the blessings that await you and all the blessings that you probably left behind because you were so busy working.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, believe in your better and that better is coming and that it's available to you. Ask for it.
Right, right. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast because
Yeah.
um, there are some people who feel as if it's too late for them to make a change. They're too old to do something new. Uh, they had an opportunity 25 years ago and they missed it. Or for the even the young people to have the audacity to think, well, I don't have enough of this or that. You all have everything at your disposal that we never did, never
Yeah.
did. Believe in your better because it's there, it's waiting on you, it's waiting for you to pick it up. So, listen to her words. Maybe there's a few steps that you need to bring you closer to your better. And I want to thank you, Miss Mellissa, for being on my podcast and helping people, yeah, ignite that fire of them having their new life and a
Yeah.
richer life, where they feel lighter and ready to go and energetic. So I really do appreciate you. And give them your podcast and your website one more time.
Sure. So to pre-order the book, it's paintoprose.com.
Hmm.
And my show is called The Getting the Win Show. And on YouTube, you'll find it at Getting the Win.
Good, good. All right, ma'am. Thank you. And to my listeners, I appreciate your time. And hopefully, we gave you one or two great little steps that you can take to move towards your better. All right. Peace.